Welcome to ResMan Help. In this session we provide an overview of the ResMan Library module. This module enables equipment such as medical devices, wheelchairs, beds and mattresses to be held in separate library pools and to be loaned to user departments or organizations and optionally charged for. The system is easy to set up and maintain, and separate videos are available for setup and operation. We've visited the library code files which are found in the administration section, and here you can see that we can set up unlimited libraries. These may be based on geographical location or by equipment type, so we could have a wheelchair pool, beds and mattresses, medical devices. We can set up our equipment statuses. This is used primarily to be able to check on equipment availability, to see whether it's available, whether it's on loan, whether it's missing, whether it's work in progress. We have different collection and delivery methods, where somebody might want to send a porter to collect an item, or a department might come, or it might be your policy for the EBME staff to deliver and collect equipment. We have the concept of an equipment checklist, which is all user defined, which means that by any piece of equipment category, so let's say for instance we had equipment for a checklist for medical equipment, or a checklist for beds, or a checklist for wheelchairs, you can set up your own checklist, and these are common tasks that you would carry out when a piece of equipment that's been on loan or has been missing for some time comes back into the department, to ensure that it's cleaned, it's safety checked, so that the next time that it goes out it's fully serviceable. In addition to setting up those code files, we can also have some default items such as a default equipment library, default collection method, default return and collection, and these are all obtained from drop-down lists from the code files that we've created. And here we can also set a warning period in days to check when equipment is overdue. That covers all the setup options. The operation of the library is from within the asset register. On this form we get a view of, in this case, the medical equipment library, but we have some very useful filters here, so that we could filter, for instance, for all assets, and then we could continue to filter on those assets to be able to find assets, say, of a particular category, and be able to move those globally into the relevant library. So we might, for instance, do that by location. So these are our equipment libraries using those filters. We can remove items and add items then into libraries. We have our normal transactions of requesting equipment and return of equipment, and they are both able to be operated using standard barcode equipment, which ensures that it's quick and accurate in being able to request and return. If we look at the return option, in this case for medical equipment, if we had a scanner and our equipment was barcoded, we would barcode and it would automatically put the barcode ID or the equipment ID in there, hit return, and it would go to that transaction. I can identify it and double click either by filtering or just scrolling through the list. And at this point we have all of the static loan details, and then at the bottom are equipment checklist that we talked about before, and we have simple tick boxes. If we wanted to, we could have some checklist notes, but this is a very quick operation. If we found at this stage that the equipment was faulty, then we could log a job at this point, and the job will automatically go into work in progress. I'm going to copy that equipment ID, and we'll just quickly have a look at the library standard reports. we can get a full audit of activity from our standard reports. We can see which users are borrowing which equipment, and we can get loan values of equipment to see if we were looking at the total income picture, whether or not we're actually making any money out of this. If we wanted to have a look at equipment activity from within an asset, you remember I copied an equipment ID. If I go to that particular record, I could then look at the library tab, and that will then give me an audit from within that piece of equipment. We can see that that's when it went into the library, then it was requested, it was returned, requested again, and if we were using the concept of loan value, then we have an accumulated figure here. That covers the overview of the standard features. However, we can interface the library module quite nicely with the training needs analysis option, which is available to our enterprise users. And this is a module that works to the specification of the NHS Litigation Authority, where it links staff training records for staff who utilize or maintain medical devices, and this may well influence your procedures on how equipment loans from the library and device maintenance are processed. This links with the staff training records, and we can set up courses, and we can link those courses to specific models. That concludes the library overview.